You're listening to the Real Estate Forum, where we talk all things real estate and have a good laugh along the way.
The Real Estate Forum is back for episode 6, and I am excited about this one. It's actually going to be my favorite one, I reckon, Brent, and I'll tell you why in a second. But thank you very much for everyone that has been joining in and been tuning in. I've even had some random people come up to me in the street and said, I've been watching and listening to your podcast. I'm like, great. Are you in real estate? They said, no, but we just want to listen to a cool podcast. Apparently, according to our fearless producer, Craig, we are in the top 20 podcasts for the entire galaxy.
Woohoo.
Official stats.
I actually had someone come up to me at the gym this morning and talking about the podcast. They said they were nearly finished one with the Diary of the CEO and Matthew McConaughey. And you know what he said?
What?
He's listened to our one next.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're
That's
up there.
pretty cool.
We're up there.
That is pretty cool. All right, so we've got a lot to get into. So a couple of things. Firstly, we've interviewed Ian Dempsey from Ray White out of Preston, which is he's a high volume agent, which we'll get to in a second. We've been speaking with a few high volume agents. Greggy from Apollo Auctions, naturally, we'll get in with him. We've got Sharon from Style with us talking all things staging, and she's super nervous. So guys, go easy. Actually, you go easy on her.
I have to. I said to Craig, I'll go harder than her. And he said, no, don't you dare.
Yeah.
And his full got anger at me. I'm like, oh, okay, I won't.
We have Jade as well from 11 Financial just checking in again. And we are announcing the winner of our one-on-one mentor program, a young chap from New South Wales. We'll check in with him shortly. But what are we doing? All right, people go, okay, what is it that your podcast is about? Well, it's all things real estate, mostly for agents, right? Sure, we give like a breakdown of what's going on in the marketplace, yada, yada, yada. But if you are a young agent starting out, this is where you start off with. Or if you are an agent with 50 sales, 70 sales, 100 sales, I can promise you now, you are listening to some of the best talkers and real estate experts. You will get something out of it too. Brent, tell me, what's been your highlight this week?
My highlight, oh God, this is a funny one. It happened to me today. So this is so off topic, man, like nothing to do with real estate. So so Kyla and I woke up early this morning, done a bit of exercise.
Kyla's your girlfriend?
Yeah, at the gym. And I get home and it's pissing down rain, blowing a gale. And I got a little sausage dog. And this guy's never escaped my house ever. And I get home and he was in my driveway, like just soaking wet. And I thought to myself, he's been out here for an hour and a half because he would have followed me to my car because he's got like stage 5, like he's a clinger.
He's a clinger.
And he was just wet and looked miserable, but he was waiting at home for me in my driveway. So he'd been home at the front of my house for an hour and a half. And I thought to myself, I'm the luckiest person ever. He could have got hit by a car. He could have got stolen by someone because if I seen a beautiful little dog like that, I'd grab them and look after them. But he was home and safe and waiting for me to let him in. So that's definitely my highlight of the week, mate. What's yours?
What's the name of your sausage dog?
His name is Charlie because he's chocolate. So Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Oh,
Yeah. Tell me yours. I need to hear a big one from you.
Story. Well, actually, I had a really funny one today, and it's probably something that every agent can relate to. I had a lady call me up, and I answered the phone. Hello, Gavin speaking. She's like, yes, I'd like to see the property that you're selling. I'm like, okay, yep, no worries. Which one? And she said, I'm pre-approved, but I just want to let you know I can't go over my max budget. I said, that's fine. I haven't asked you to go over your max budget. And she goes, but I have spoken to my mortgage broker. I'm good to go. I'm like, fantastic. Which property are you talking about? And she goes, the one you're selling. And I was like, okay, yep. Which one specifically? She goes, oh, I don't have it with me. And I'm like, okay, can you maybe find out? She goes, okay, yep, because I want to see it tomorrow. I'm like, great. Probably can organize it, but I need to know the address. And she's like, okay, all right, let me get back to you. And I'm like, all right, cool. Thinking that she would hang up. Anyway, you can hear her scrolling. I'm like, wait, are you still on the phone? She goes, yeah, I'm just trying to find it. I'm like, okay, I don't have a lot of time. Can you find the address? Or do you want to call me back? She goes, no, I'll find it. Crickets. Silence. All I'm hearing is on a mouse. And I'm like, oh, look, I really got to know the address. Otherwise, I'm going to go. You can call me back. And she goes, oh, no, I found the one. I'm like, okay, great. And she goes, it's the one in Lyndhurst. I'm like, I don't sell in Lyndhurst. I'm like, just call me back. I'm like, oh my gosh. How often does that happen?
Did she find it?
No, she didn't find it. I was like, just call me back when you found it. Because obviously I'm selling dozens of properties on the market at one time. ranging from your Clyde, your Officer, your Berwick, your Pakenham. I don't know. I had one person say at the start of the year, they're like, "Oh, can you just list all the properties you have for sale and I'll tell you which one it is?" I'm like, okay.
How long have you got?
Let me just bring out my list. And I started going through them and like, oh yeah, it could be that one. It could be, it's a block of land.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's so hard not to be like a smart ass back to it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have a look at your property you've got for sale in, say, Lang Lang or Officer. And if we're selling 5 to 10 homes in these certain suburbs, and I'm thinking, I'd love to help you. Which one is it? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And you list off all these properties and they're like, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And I was thinking, before you call an agent, write down the address, write down what budget, and when you can come have a look at it.
Actually, that's a great point. I had one last month and they were being smart ass. They'd started off being smart ass. So like, yeah, I'm looking for a property. It's got to have at least 5 acres and it's got to have this, this, and this. And I said, okay, fantastic. And what's your budget? He goes, I don't have a budget. I'm like, all right, you're one of these guys. I'm like, well, that's fantastic. I've actually got a property out at Tynong at the moment. It was selling for $3.5 million. Would you like to see that? And he goes, well, I'm not going to spend that much. I'm like, what? So you do have a budget? And he goes, well, I mean, like, who's got $3.5 million to spend? I'm like, well, I'm just saying we've got that one for sale.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another one that we're selling for 2.2. Would you be interested in seeing that? And he goes, well, no, I'm looking for something like more practical. I'm like, okay, and under $1 million. Like, you do have a budget, mate. It's under $1 million.
Yeah. Do you find with some buyers, if you ask them about, you have to articulate it in a very good way about how much you can spend, but some buyers like crack the shits like, oh, I need to see the house first.
Yeah.
I understand that, but sometimes we have individuals that are owners and they're very protective of taking buyers through.
Yep.
Have they got pre-approval up to $1 million? Can they settle within our preferred settlement dates? And that's what we're
pre-qualifying.
That's what we're getting asked for as an agent. And sometimes when you ask the buyers in a nice way, they do bite back a little bit and maybe have a perceived perception of how we are as an agent. But it's not us. Sometimes it's our owner is a little bit stricter on the process before taking your buyer through.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the owners will respect you for it. And I think the buyers, especially if they're selling as well, will respect you for it too.
100%.
Interesting. I had a kid. When I say kid, he's probably 19, 20 years old. He's been in real estate for about 11 weeks. And he reached out to me and he's from Glen Ira. So he's down on the peninsula. I thought it was Glen Ira. And he's down on the peninsula, works at Buxton. And he's like, Gav, I've got a client. I was door knocking. He does want to sell his house in the peninsula. But he wants to sell his 2 houses in Pakenham. Never spoken to this guy in my life, right? And he goes, can we like arrange like a referral system or something? I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries, mate. I'll give you 20% of whatever it sells for. I go and meet the owner, but he comes as well, the agent, and he's driven all the way from Glen Ira, probably about 45, 50 minutes away. I'm like, cool, dedication. This kid suited up to the nines, only been in working in real estate for a handful of months, he's been door knocking. Let me tell you, as if you were starting out as an agent, this young chap is making 600 calls a week.
Wow.
A week. And on top of that, he's door knocking too. He is working 8 o'clock, the start time, to 7:30. Like you're working nearly 12-hour days and he's just prospecting the entire time. I said goodbye to him, walked into his car when we left. And as he got in, he had these big sticky notes over his steering wheel. And one of them was make calls. And on his phone, he had a list of like 30 phone numbers of people he was going to call between Pakenham and returning home to Glen Ira. He doesn't know their names. He doesn't even know exactly what address. He knows what street they're from, what number address. All he has is a phone number. And all he's doing is just calling, hey, would you like an appraisal? Hey, would you like an appraisal? And he's just powering through this cold call set of numbers. And the other sticky note that he had on the steering wheel was don't speed.
Valid point.
Yeah, another good point. And I couldn't believe it. Like I am a director, obviously, and you lead a team too. I would be happy if my guys can call 150 people a week and maybe door knock 150 houses. So it's 300 points. This guy has 600 calls a week. And on top of that, he's door knocking.
Yeah, so we've got like 20 connects a day, which that would be 60 calls a day.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. Yeah.
Cold prospecting to connect numbers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. So let's get cracking because we had a huge episode. Brenny, run us through our sponsors, would you?
Yeah, so we've still got Douglas on board, Adaptive Fire and Electrical. He's your go-to man with everything electrical and fire. I still don't know what fire means, so maybe we'll call Doug one day and ask him what he means by fire.
Good Sparky, though.
Yeah.
Ever since Adaptive had come on, the more and more people I speak to, they know him. Good bloke.
Good bloke.
Good Sparky, too.
That's why he's on here. And as you touched on before, we've still got Jade around. You know, Jade's absolutely amazing, and I referred a few people onto her this week and so happy with her services. Very responsive. And then we've got the great man, Greggy. We're going to give Greg a call now. So we'll cut to a quick break and get Greg on the phone. See you soon.
We're back with Greg, Apollo Auctions. He's stranded at the Adelaide Airport. He can't get back to Melbourne because it is bucketing rain, hurling wind. There's a high chance that this roof might collapse in on the podcast. But Greggy, what's the Adelaide Airport doing at the moment?
It is delicious. I had a flight move earlier, and then that same flight got delayed back to 10 minutes before my original flight was. So we're just living the dream.
And what's the population at the moment in the airport?
Well, I'm in the business lounge, so there's a good array of different people here at the moment. It's actually quite good. And top tip for anyone travelling, Adelaide Business Lounge, best in Australia.
Talk about privilege.
Any free Pierce?
Yes, I've got a nice glass of Pinot Noir sitting next to me.
Nice, mate.
What's the cheeses like?
I haven't tried the cheeses yet. They might be a little bit after our phone conversation.
Greggy, we're pretty keen to get stuck in. Now, firstly, before we do, congratulations on using the word rambunctious.
I'm a man of my word, literally a man of my word, and used that word about your guest also, Mr. Luke McGree. So we got the double whammy there, the rambunctious Luke McGree and his team. So,
fits him well.
I think that was too easy, though. It was a nice word. Phonetically sounds good. There's actually, according to dictionary.com, and you can check my voicemail because I change it every day, the word of the day today is quother. And I want you to slide quother into your next auction. It's like an interjection, but it means indeed. So like if you're at a party and someone's giving a speech and they said, you know, Brent Day's a fantastic guy. And then someone in the crowd yells out, quother. Like it means like, I don't know how you're going to put it in, but yeah, Quotha, quother. Use that.
Is it just spelled? Or does it sound very sort of Harry Potter-esque?
It does, yeah.
Gryffindor.
I could imagine like an earl from like 1700s England being quother.
Quother, Gavin.
Yeah, quother. So yeah, that's your word.
Good
I'll do my best.
Good video on the weekend, mate. I was watching it on Sunday night, I think, and I seen the big, what is it, rambunctious? What is it?
Rambunctious.
Rambunctious was dropped, and the quality was amazing, mate. So really good to see on the video side of things.
Well, that's to do with our lovely producer, Mr. Craig. Exceptional at what he does, some serious talent involved in his team. And he sent not just himself, the entire team. We had drones, we had more video cameras than a Paris Hilton press conference back in the early 2000s.
Good to see, mate.
Do we have the small mini dog in the purse?
No, we didn't have that. That's his name's Oliver Milky. He works at O'Brien Frankston too. He can be my little dog in the purse.
All right, so give us a wrap up. How the auctions going around the country? You're in Adelaide. What's that market doing?
The Adelaide market's pretty steady. It's actually the hottest market in Australia at the moment. Clearance rate last week was 77.1%, so almost 10% higher than the Vic clearance rate at 67.22. National clearance rate for the week, 63%, which is just a touchdown on the week prior. Interestingly, though, in Vic, I think I had 10 auctions scheduled or 11 auctions scheduled over Saturday and Sunday. I ended up calling 5 on Saturday. 4 out of the 5 sold, but it was the first time I felt like the foot had come just slightly off the gas with the buyers. There was good competition, but then it stopped pretty quickly for most of those auctions. They didn't run on for that extra 20, 30, 50 grand like we've been experiencing over the last couple of months.
Yeah, right. Well, Brent's saying a similar thing. We're having a conversation. He's just not quite nailing the sales that he was just recently. You want to talk us through a bit about that, Brenna?
Yeah, before I go into that, what kind of price points were they at, Greg?
Interesting price points, mainly sort of between that 750 up to 1.1, 1.2 million mark for the 4 that did sell. The 5th one was a unique property up a very steep hill in the back end of Berwick. So that was an acquired taste. But the other ones were Frankston, 3-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 2-bath, sort of standard properties. And they started high
Yeah, okay.
as far as the bidding started within the range, which is not typical as an auction. And I think that might have scared off a few buyers.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I had, like Gav was saying, I had one in Cranbourne North, which I've had probably averaged 12 through the opens in the first 3 weeks. And I thought it would sell very strongly and very quickly. But had to really pull some strings together to get that one sold at a good price. And I thought it would have sold for maybe 25, 30 grand more. But, who am I to say what it's kind of worth?
Interesting, and some of the buyers, it feels like they're almost taking back a little bit of the control, not dictating the market. It's definitely not a buyer's market, don't get me wrong, but the balance of power has somewhat started to stagnate towards a midpoint or just in the favour of the vendors instead of being well in favour of the vendors is what I'm feeling. Now, Gav, you had a couple of in-rooms last night, I think it was, or your
3.
office did.
We had 3, yep.
How did they go?
Yeah, sold 2 of the 3. The 2 that sold went obviously above reserve and above quote range. But then, as you're saying, like there was that one that didn't actually receive any bids at all. So probably more to your point, maybe the foot has come off the gas a little bit, but I'm pretty keen to see from you as a man of travel and a man of leisure, what parts of the country are performing well from a selling perspective?
Well, it's interesting to look at the difference between auctions and private sales. So in Victoria, just for context, it's about 43% of all sales are conducted via the auction process. Now, we are the highest in those capitals. So New South Wales is 39%, Queensland is 21%. So Queensland is still performing statistically quite well, but not so much in the auction marketplace. South Australia is quite high. It's a real mixed bag, and it's more so that mid-tier, anything under 1.5 million, still performing quite well. Anything between 1 and 1.5 and 3 million has some buoyancy. Anything over 5 is really, it's tricky. That's 5 million, mind you. Anything over 5 million, it's really tricky to get competition at.
And how's the Cooper Pedy market?
The Cooper Pedy market, exceptional. Northern Western Australia. Well, Western Australia is actually the most interesting state as far as auctions. They do 3% of their business via auctions.
Yeah, wow.
But 90% of that 3% are online auctions using a platform called Open. Maybe we can get them as a sponsor, OPENN, which is sort of a timed auction platform that you'd see on Rays for bottles of wine and those sort of things. Police auctions, they're not actually real auctions. So interesting stat.
I was telling a guy who works for Volkswagen in Berwick, talking about how busy we are, and I think his industry as well it's slow at the moment, but I said the next 6 weeks after Cup weekend, I think it's just going to be crazy, and the lead up to Christmas, it's just going to be pedal to the metal, really. Really busy.
Interesting, read the car salesman. I've had 3 calls from used car salesmen this week trying to see if I want to upgrade my car. So their market must be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, I'm looking forward to next week chatting with you in your brand new Lamborghini. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. That's an Andy Reid thing. And we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, gents. Enjoy.
See you, mate. Cheers. All right, today's guest is the definition of consistency, hustle, and results. From wiring electrical circuits way back over in Ireland to wiring deals across Melbourne, especially in the Preston area, Ian Dempsey has built one of the most powerful reputations in the Ray White group. He's a director of Ray White Preston, a chairman's elite performer, and consistently ranks in the top 5 in Victoria and Tasmania. But behind those stats is a story of relentless drive, world-class communication, and an obsession with doing the simple things perfect. In an industry where most talk about results, Ian delivers them consistently year after year. Today, we'll unpack how he's built an unstoppable business, how he leads his team from the front, and what it really takes to stay at the top of your game in modern real estate. So turn it up and get ready to take notes because, Gav, this is one episode you did not want to miss. And before we go to Ian, tell me, what is a Chairman's Elite?
Chairman's Elite. So that is a recognition criteria that Ray White has. They have qualified, Premier, Elite, and then Chairman's Elite. So it's a top echelon of agents. You're in the top 1% of a group that employs thousands and thousands and thousands of estate agents. You have to be earning over $1.5 million per year gross commission to be considered Chairman's Elite, and Ian hits that consistently every year. I'm not so sure about his communication. I'm glad we have subtitles because you can't understand them half the time.
Craig, look after the subtitles. You'll need them. You're going to need them.
Because how long have you been in Aussie for, mate? And thank you, by the way, for coming on the show.
Okay, thank you. What an introduction. That's unbelievable. That's a lot more than I deserve.
Yeah.
First, I came out to Australia in 2001, so 24 years ago. So I've been here for quite a while. Yeah.
And what was the reason for the move from Ireland, mate?
It wasn't as elaborate as Kevin's talk, or I wasn't struggling or anything. I was on a boys' trip.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much.
This is even better. This is a better story. What was the boys' trip for?
It was just a lot of people when they finish uni or do an apprenticeship in Ireland, they'll head off. Canada, Brazil, Australia is a big one on the list. So me and three of my mates bought one of those 7-stop tickets and we headed off on a big journey for 12 months. It wasn't supposed to be 24 years. It was only supposed to be 12 months. So
you haven't gone back since that boys' trip?
I went to America for a year and then, I went back for 6 months for my sister's wedding, and then I came back in 2005 and I've been here constantly since.
Wow. That's actually incredible. So the boys' trip, and this is just an Irish thing, right? So I'm assuming it's a bit of bar hopping, it's a bit of golf, it's a bit of sightseeing, it's a lot of drinking.
It was a very career-driven journey trip. It was career. We were thinking of improving ourselves. No, it was a bit of fun for 12 months. Hang out with the boys, do a bit of... Because I had done an apprenticeship by that stage, so I'd worked pretty hard for 4 years, so it's a bit of a treat.
Yep.
Head off for 12 months and then go home and set yourself up.
Are the boys still floating around?
No, the boys left. One of them left inside the 12 months. And the other two went back. One of them's actually in America now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the other two are back home?
The other two are back home. All married with children and settled down,
Boring.
So you're the lucky one, mate. And if you can, take us back to how did you start in real estate? Like from being a Sparky, I assume you're a Sparky. That's where your apprenticeship was.
Tradie in a suit, I call myself now. So.
Mate, Aussies love that. So
No, I was, I always, after leaving school, went and did an apprenticeship, pretty tough apprenticeship. So I put parts of that down to driving what I do today. I had an old school electrician that I used to work for in Ireland, and he was pretty tough. Like if you were sitting down wiring a PowerPoint or something, he'd come in and turn your tool bag upside down and he'd make you pick it up. It was old school learnings. Yeah. It's good for the PAs.
Yes, it's good.
So I instill it a little bit in them today. Yeah. So that was the start of the
Do you pick up that briefcase and just turn it upside down?
Oh yeah, if he saw you sitting scratching, he'd be into you. So just turn your tool bag upside down and shake it on the ground.
Do you do it?
I'm not that bad. I'm not quite as tough. But there is parts of that learning that I've implemented with the PAs and teach them the right way to do things. And obviously we all want them to be constantly doing something productive.
Correct.
So we've instilled that in them. So it was part of the apprenticeship. Did that for 4 years. Completed that. Then when I came to Australia, I had to resit the exams and redo all the paperwork again when I came here.
And what was the pathway into real estate?
I actually transitioned from an electrician. I was working with a mate of mine called Jibber. You like his nickname?
Jibber.
Jibber. He's an Aussie bloke. And he said, I'm going building. And I said, all right, well, I'll have a career change as well. So I transitioned into electrical sales. I used to sell industrial switchgear for a large company, a really good company, NHP, in the city. They were actually a really good company to work for at the time. And I worked there as a rep I started in products and then went in as a rep because I always had sales in me.
Yeah.
My parents had a fruit and veg business. So I always had that kind of sales kind of in me. I used to work on it every summer.
What's your nickname?
Demo, it used to be.
Demo.
Yeah.
Big demo.
Demo.
Because of
Dempsey.
Dempsey, yeah. Not Paddy?
No, it wasn't Paddy. No, Demo. Yeah, no, Demo was pretty simple, just off the surname.
So talk us about then where you are currently selling. It's in Preston.
Yeah.
High volume area? High end
I
property?
sell a little bit hybrid. I'm across 2 suburbs. So I sell in Preston and Reservoir mainly.
Yep.
Reservoir's Melbourne's largest suburb.
Is it?
So very large turnover.
Wow.
High turnover suburb.
How many houses, roughly?
If for Preston smaller, there would be, I don't even know how many are in Reservoir, to be honest.
And do you have like a core area that you letterbox drop or?
My core area is East Preston.
Okay.
So the east side of,
Yep.
we kind of split it up between the reps. You're not locked into that area. But if a call in comes into the office, we get allocated if it's in my core area. And then I break it up into smaller patches for the PAs.
Okay.
Average
to
sale
work.
price, East Preston?
About 880, 900.
Okay. So that would be a reasonably high volume, high turnover area.
Yeah, that'd be more the lower end townhouses and homes that need work. But the larger side of that market is about 1.5 to 2 mil.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
You have a listing actually at the moment. What is it, like 1.5, 2 mil, around that kind of?
Langwarren, 2.4,
Yeah.
2.6, yeah.
And that's like big for us. Like 2.4 is, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Show me the money type thing. But that's probably your...
We're starting to get
probably
up there now. There's some of the brand new renovated homes are getting over 2s now pretty regularly.
And I'm pretty uneducated geographically in Melbourne. How far away is Preston Reservoir from the CBD?
So about 14 Ks Reservoir.
North.
Yeah, Preston's it's about 10, 12, just north of Northcote and Thornbury.
Okay. Northcote's a very expensive market.
Very expensive market, yeah. So we get a little bit of spillover. That's what's happening. That market's getting pushed up through Preston and into Reservoir.
Big numbers that you're writing, 150 plus each year. And we talk about volume because there is a shift in the real estate sphere beyond just doing high-end 10, 20 sales and making a decent cut out of that. You have to do volume. And so for the agents that are watching or the people wanting to get into real estate that are tuning in, it's all about the number of houses you can sell. And you do a lot, Ian. How did you start off and how have you transitioned to such a high volume agency?
It wasn't a plan to do that volume, but I think without dropping quality, I think we do it very well. We do that large number and we do it consistently. And it doesn't matter to me if you've got a 1-bedroom apartment or a $2 million house. The service level is exactly the same. The vendor reporting is the same. The work ethic that goes into both is exactly the same. So how did we do it? I think just not being a dickhead, basically.
Well, Kev talked about one of the things that he does in listing presentations is try to generate or bring humor to the listing table. You're a funny guy.
Am I?
Yeah, you sound funny at
It's
least.
just the Irish accent.
So do you, and you're good for a laugh, and I know that you're good for a beer. Do you, when you're at the listing table, are you bringing humor into
Yeah,
the
definitely.
event?
That's definitely a big part of it.
Yep.
I think you've got to bring a few elements. I think you got to be very professional. In the Preston market, there's very, very good operators. You have to be on point from when the inquiry comes in to every step of the way. A message just after you get that call, book in that appointment, a very professional introductory email. Your presentation has to be on point. If we can knock a bit of fun out of that as well, it definitely helps. I've heard a couple of your interviews so far, and I think it's a factor that everyone brings into it.
Yeah.
And I think it's about making those vendors feel comfortable with you. And if you can do that, that's probably half the battle.
So what do you do to separate yourself from these good operators in Preston?
I think it's just a mix of things. I think a lot of our business is referral, or it's past clients or someone that we've sold for that knows somebody, so they know the service is very good. And I think you've got to be ticking all those boxes along the way. If you drop 1 second, you're out of the game.
I find that too bad in our marketplace as well. We're a little bit lower sale price, but I still find that you just have to be 110% on.
You do.
And even if you're that 10% different, you're probably not going to win the business. So say, Ian, if I was selling my house in Preston and, I contact you and your team, what happens when I pick up the phone and say, hey, Ian, I look at selling my house. Can you go through the steps of...
Yeah, so I'll take that inquiry. I'll get as much detail as I possibly can, try and ask the right questions. So there's certain questions.
What questions?
Oh, I think if you ask, have they done any upgrades to the property? What's the bedroom, bathroom situation? You want to let them know that you want to bring the right comparable sales with you. So that's a little insight into what they're thinking on price as well. So there's little tricks in that we can kind of find out where they're sitting on values. Because we all know sometimes vendors can be high on expectation, and you've got to bring the right type of properties that may not sometimes be comparable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've got to work through that with them. I think just booking in that appointment, sending them a nice professional message, sending them an introductory email to give them a bit of an insight with who they're meeting, your profile, a little bit about the office, the Ray White business. Not everybody knows about it. It's a huge brand, but still I like to educate them on the size of the brand. And then we do the listing presentation, and then there's a follow-up process after that.
Do they get a physical information pack before the appointment?
I used to do a lot of them. I've probably moved away a little bit from that now since COVID and dropping the packs off. I'm more digital now.
Okay.
It's a lot more digital.
And then say after you leave my house and I've got 3 other agents going out there, say you come out on a Monday and it's I'm getting back to you on a Friday.
Yep.
What's your follow-up process from that appointment?
I'll put traffic cones out so they can't park near the house.
Good
and
idea.
Make them walk. No, but I'll it's an instant message once I leave, thanking them for their time. Then a couple of days later, I'll give them a follow-up call and go through any questions they may have. That message will have, if you've got any questions over the weekend, or please call me at any time, because I'm a glutton for punishment as well. I'll answer an email at midnight. I'll take a call on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just what you have to do, I think.
Off market?
Off markets, we do a fair bit. There's a few brands in the area driving a lot of that. It's getting more popular. I always advise clients, and I think that comes back to being not a dickhead. I think it's not about me. It's about more what the client, what's in their best interests. I don't see the off-market process as the best way to sell a house. I think there's time and place for it.
I agree.
But I think there could be someone else out there that could pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
And why don't we expose that? Yeah.
So what's your point of difference then if you are trying to sell Brent's house and you've got 3 other agents, or there's been plenty of occasions where there's been more. I hear that in this city, they're ruthless, those vendors. They'll get 5 agents out.
Yep.
What?
I went into one the other day. They had 9 packs on the desk.
Did you win?
9 packs.
I don't know. He's still deciding. I reckon he'll be deciding for about 2 years.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah, I had a decision when I went to one on Friday, like follow up, like Saturday, Monday, done everything I could. He actually called me back last night, said he's gone with someone else, which I got off that phone call and I'm like, I was all right with it.
It's probably not a bad one to miss.
And he let me know, and he called me and he explained why, and I'm like, this is a genuine person, because most people just ghost you and have no respect to let you know they've gone elsewhere and you're just chasing.
This is Brent hijacking my question.
Go for it.
Point of difference.
I do really respect. He's got a good point though. I do really respect that
from a client.
From a client, I get a bit excited when they call me back and let me know that it's not you.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
You can tell you're not getting it though when they either send an email, say, hey Ian, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Straight after thank you so much, that we've gone to a different agent is the next word that's coming out of that email. Yeah. Or if they call you and they say, I just want to let you know. And you're like, God damn it.
No.
Yeah, it sucks. And I think every agent can relate to it, because we've all had those calls and you're like, you have to listen to what they say and you have to be respectful, but you really just want to punch them in the face. And you're like, yes, I know that you're going with a different agent, and oh my gosh, like I understand
it's like a breakup,
cheaper commission, or they said a higher price. You can't say anything. Once it's signed, it's signed.
It's a big part of what we do. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That emotion is it can be soul destroying.
It can, especially if you lose a couple in the same week, which everyone's done it. I mean, what you must have had the experience where you've lost 5, 7, 10 in a week. In such high volume. Maybe not.
We're not bad if we get in there. We've got a pretty high strike rate.
It's just me. Maybe I'm the shit one.
That's important. That's your leeway, mate. Why is that? Why is
Yeah,
it a
okay.
difference?
Well, maybe I'm the one that needs to be asking more questions.
volume
Tell
might be
me,
higher.
teach me, Ian. Teach me
No,
your ways.
your volume's higher. You're just going into more.
Point of difference. Going back to that, what do you do to separate yourself from the crowd?
I just think when you've got the volume, then it's a lot easier because you're talking to a lot of the buyers. So that's what I sell a lot of. There's not many people coming into that marketplace in those two suburbs that I'm not meeting on a Saturday.
Ian, if you're starting real estate again,
Yeah.
fresh, brand new to the market right now, then what are you doing to get ahead? What are you doing to beat an Ian Dempsey that's 150 sales a year?
I'd do the same again. I think you can do this job with a piece of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
It's not all about Instagram, and the podcasts are very important, obviously, but it's not all about the new way. I think the old
As people watching this on Instagram,
Yeah.
so keep going.
I think the old school way has still got a lot of merit. I think people forget how important the face-to-face, I call it belly-to-belly. You would have heard that term a lot.
Because I've gained an extra few kilos.
Well, me too, but it's very important. I think that face-to-face, meeting people, going to a coffee shop. I always tell the guys, don't go to the same coffee shop that all your colleagues are going to. Go to a different one, meet different people.
Yeah.
Get involved in the sporting clubs, get involved with the schools, get involved with the community, give back a little bit. I think that's probably something that the younger new age agents are probably missing out on a lot of. They're concentrating on the socials and they're concentrating on the online stuff. And I think get out there and meet people. I think that is very important.
I am a massive advocate of pen to paper, as your words of what you just said, because as you can see, I've got 2 pens here and I carry these to every single appraisal that I go to. And there is nothing more important in real estate than forming connection.
Correct.
100%.
And if you can form connection, you are halfway to winning the listing.
Correct.
I find it very tricky to form connection through digital means.
100%.
And if you whip out a computer screen or an iPad at a presentation, you start to drift away from that connection. If you have a pen and paper and you can draw and you can explain and you can verbalize through this old school method, then you start forming that connection and you're so much closer to winning that listing.
100%. It was the same when I was a rep. You always had a business card, you always had a pen, and you always had a piece of paper.
Yeah. And
You get the data.
this literally comes with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Like if it's a podcast, if it's a listing presentation, this is my listing presentation pretty much. It's pen and paper.
Yeah.
And I had a pen with me for like 2 months. And as you know, I'd lose a fair bit of stuff. And yeah, I've lost it yesterday. So pretty disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I've heard that you're transitioning a bit in your business with your photography, going to the Craig Hollowell team. Have you done that yet, or it's in the process?
We still deal with our core photographers. We are looking at different avenues all the time. We're always looking to improve. That is something we are talking to Craig about.
Great diplomatic answer.
I was not saying I'm a gym junkie or anything like that, but I was at the gym this morning and my phone went off at 6:30 in the morning and it was a photo shoot you done at 7 o'clock last night.
Yes.
And for me to be able to send that to my client in our WhatsApp group for our set for sale meeting today at 4 p.m., like that's such a different level of service.
Yeah.
And I'm not chasing photographers or where's the photos, where's this, where's that. It's that consistent level.
Yeah.
Guys, back up the bus for a moment. Are you at gym sending the photos from the previous night's shoot to your clients at 7 a.m.?
6:30, yeah.
I beg your pardon, 6:30, right?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
It's like
You're
Ian said,
crazy.
I ever do something, like if I open a message and I don't reply, they're probably not going to get a reply for 8 hours.
Yeah.
But if someone says text me, I'll text you straight back. Like you'd know that. I reply to every message straight away.
I know, it's concerning.
I think a lot of people have, if my inbox isn't clear, I'll get a bit
Anxiety,
anxious.
yeah.
I get a bit nervous. I want it to be clear.
Yeah.
I want every phone call that I've missed on my phone after I come out of a meeting, I'll have to call them back.
I'm the same. Yeah.
That's different. I think if a phone call comes in after a meeting, that's good to return it. But all right, let's talk about your inbox for a moment. So are you concerned that if the inbox isn't clear at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., are you like...
Constantly.
Yeah, right.
Constantly. It's got to be constantly cleared.
And you monitor that yourself?
Yes. Yeah, I give my EA a bit of anxiety because I just action it, but I leave them in there. I think I've got, I don't know, 50,000 emails in there or something.
Can you tell us how many unread emails are in your inbox right now?
Phone's over.
Oh, we'll have to get your phone. All right, Craig. This is our producer, Craig, stepping into screen, by the way. Everyone say hi. Hi, Craig.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Craig.
Yep. Nice work.
I want to dive into the team a little bit.
Wait, hang on. We will get the team. I want to see how many, right now in his head, he's going through, oh, yeah, I've got to action that. Oh, geez, that's emails come in half an hour.
You're
Hasn't been
giving him
replied to.
anxiety.
How many?
There's
yeah.
a couple of there's a fair few real, we're closing a couple of deals at the moment, but they're the contracts. There's probably about 8 unactioned.
And how does that make you feel?
I want to finish the podcast and get to them straight away.
Yeah, do your hour and a half drive home.
Yeah. That's fascinating. So I don't like looking at my emails that often. I'd like to have them cleared by about 5, 6 o'clock. I don't get notifications on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't look at my emails. I figure if someone needs to talk to me, they'll call me or they'll message me. Emails can wait. So I'll only look at my emails in the morning, after lunch, and then before I knock off. I don't really do that much between like your 10 and 12.
And you would have a lot of settlement notifications.
Yeah, I don't look at them.
Yeah. So who's monitoring them?
The team.
Yeah.
So segue into the team. Talk us about what you've got, because initially you're a solo agent, but now you have a high functioning team. Roll us through that.
So I've had an EA for quite a few years. Rose, she's really great. She's the backbone of the team. And then I've got a really good team at the moment. Probably the best team I've had in my 9 years or whatever I've been doing it. I've got 2 PAs that run campaigns, Anthony and Ethan, and they've just come in last year. They're doing really well. They'll be good agents in time. So it's just the 3 of those.
Yep.
We've got admin staff that help with the contracts and everything else in the background. But yeah, that's the 4 of us are running all the campaigns.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, very good. And so what do you do?
A lot of the, as we call it, the $500 an hour stuff. We want to be focused on that area. So a lot of listing presentations, the negotiations. We sell a fair few properties some before auction. So a lot of those heavy negotiations, or is it the right time to press go or we wait? So all that kind of real important stuff. Vendor management, it's a huge one. I do pretty much all the vendor management. The guys generate the reports, but I'll deliver and we'll get the reserves and everything for auction day.
So if I was in your team from a 9 to 5 perspective, we'll call that as the average hours, even though they're not.
Yeah.
What am I doing as an Ethan, or what was the other guy's name?
Anthony. It's we try to be structured, but in that when you sell a lot of properties, when you do get dragged. You get dragged away from your core jobs, but those guys will do building inspections. They're running buyer appointments privately. We do have a system where they prospect in the mornings, so there's a door knocking element to that they do every morning, and then it's a lot of buyer responses, and then open homes Wednesdays, Thursday nights.
Yep.
We're out till 8:30, 9 o'clock. We can run 4 on the hour.
Beautiful.
And we do that.
Yeah.
Tiered on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then Saturdays, busiest day of the week, auction day. That's game day. We're flat out on that day. Everything else in between, really, you only have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday in between.
Yeah, true.
So there's not the week goes very quickly.
It does.
Yeah.
All right, mate. So starting to wrap up, if you had some advice to any youngsters entering the real estate sphere, what would that advice be to them?
I think I've heard get obsessed a fair bit with I think you do have to be. I think that has to be a little bit of a natural ability. You've got to go all in. You can't go half-assed at it. You have to go 120%.
Yeah.
And I think if they do that, you'll make it work.
Yep.
You'll just have to. When I went in, I had I think I had 1 kid at the time. I was coming out of a good rep job. I didn't have a plan B. So there was no plan B. It was working. I just had to make it work.
And it's a common theme. Be obsessed.
Yeah.
You know, last week
Yep.
we had Luke sitting in the chair there, and he's obsessed with it. Like
Yeah,
he was falls asleep listening to a podcast.
Yeah, he does. All right, guys, that's all we have time for. We're getting the nod from the producer to wrap it up.
Yep.
Ian, thank you very much for joining
No worries,
us, mate.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Would love to chat to you further, but unfortunately out of time. But thank you for making the 4.5 hour trek down from Preston to Pakenham. Really appreciate it. All right, man. Brenna?
Nothing for me, mate. Powerful, impactful, short, sharp podcast. Great. Love it.
Love it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Ian.
Cheers.
Thank
Legend.
you.
But Sharon from Style With Us has joined us today,
She's here.
all the way from wherever it is that she's come from, but it's a rainy, filthy day in Pakenham.
Terrible.
But can I just say one thing, Sharon? Do you ever get called Shazza
All the time.
or Shazalicious?
We'll stick with Shazza.
Can I call you
think.
Shazalicious?
No. Go for it.
All right, we're here with Shazalicious from Style With Us. Now, there's a couple of questions, Sharon, that we want to find out. And to the people listening, Brent was saying that he has only used a stylist 5 times this year, which I vehemently say that you should be doing more. But I also want to know why. But before we get into what makes styling so important to a sale, talk to us a little bit about who you are and why did you get into styling?
Oh, that was a long time ago now. It's my husband and my self business, Style With Us. So we created it about 10 years ago. We did have a retail and appliance rental company, and we started to get calls for asking, do we stage properties? And, we kept saying no, no, no. And we were looking at getting out of the business of what we were in or moving away from it. So we started to say yes, and it's just grown from there. We just was inundated with I guess, property quotes once they saw the work that we did, and it just took off from there.
So Style With Us, how many years has it been around?
Been 10 years this year.
Happy 10 years.
Thank you. We haven't had time to celebrate, but we will with the team this year.
Well, as long as we get invite.
We'll bring some poppers.
And so I'll bring the beers
Yeah, I'll bring a Diet Coke and
and
we'll be
Greg can
laughing.
bring the zucchini.
Yes. With stylist companies, it's such an ultra competitive business, right? And with an agent, I think we can pitch and, do different things. What's your kind of point of difference from a styling perspective to get people to use you as opposed to a competitor?
I think the point of difference is the quality and the styling of the furniture. I think I had a phone call today saying from a client saying he wanted me to go and do a quote because he'd walked through another styling property a couple of weeks ago, and he has remembered that from walking through that property. So I think I definitely think it's our quality of our furniture, the attention to detail, the extra layers that we put in to properties. So I think looking at the properties speaks for themselves of who we are and what we do.
It's a referral-based network as well. Like us.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep. I mean, up until this year, I didn't have a social media or marketing person, who is here today. But we barely touched the surface of Instagram up until this year because we've just been so busy with referrals. But realise that it is important and it's what we need to do as well.
Are you on TikTok?
We're slowly getting on TikTok.
Do you dance?
Yes.
Yes, great.
You're getting on TikTok more.
Guess what I'll be doing tonight? Style With Us TikTok. Like, comment, share, whatever it is, repost. I want to find out a bit more about the substance behind staging. So if I'm an agent, right, and I've got a vacant home and I've been chatting with the owner who's like, that's okay, we don't need a stage, just get some digital furniture put in. What's your response to that? Why is staging a house so powerful?
So staging a house, obviously, once you walk through a property, or we'll go back to virtual staging, it does stand out online. But once you walk into the home, the buyers don't realise that it's virtual, and they walk in and feel quite disappointed, feel quite deflated that where's the furniture? Where's the sofa in the of the living room? So it definitely, staging does paint the picture, tell the story to the buyers of the lifestyle that they can lead.
And do you feel like a buyer would connect more with the property
Absolutely.
when there is staged furniture there?
Absolutely. It's all about the emotional connection.
I strongly believe in staging. And one of the things, Sharon, I'd like you to probably comment on this as well. When a buyer walks through a property, they're making a decision based on emotional responses. And as you walk through a property, you will justify those emotional responses with a logical backing. But before that ever happens, there is a connection and a feeling that takes place especially with first home buyers, that, okay, I feel like this is my property. I can see myself living here. I feel connected to the house.
Yep.
It's an emotional journey they go on.
Yes.
If it's an empty shell of a property, that emotional connection is a lot harder to get.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How many houses would you stage in a year, do you reckon?
Probably 400 to 500.
Wow.
400 to 500?
So 1.5 a day, roughly.
Yeah, roughly we do about 2 a day.
Wow.
Did you have a big team with
We
you?
do. We have a team of 10.
Wow.
So my husband and I run the business, and our 2 boys are in the logistics team, and so it's a family-run business. And then we have another 6 people on the team. So we have an amazing team, and that's the success of Style with Us is our team as well.
That's incredible. I had no idea how big it was.
That's crazy. What would be your busiest suburb that you get most of your properties to stage?
The location's probably more just the southeast.
Of Victoria.
Of Victoria. We don't go really too far past One Turn. Is probably as far as we go. We're fairly busy in the southeast, so we stage Berwick, Cranbourne, Clyde North, Officer, Pakenham, Druin, Warragul.
Would you go to Lang Lang?
We do go to Lang Lang.
Yeah,
yes.
let's go.
Yes, we do.
Brent's got this, he has like high market share in this tiny little regional town called Lang ×2, and he dominates in that market. But no one knows where it is.
You know what's funny, man? This is so off topic. I was in Hollywood where the stars are.
Yeah.
And I was walking down where all the stars are, and there was a Lang Lang star.
Yeah.
I had to bring up the photo, and I was so excited. I'm like, apparently he's an artist or something?
He's a pianist.
There you go.
Lang Lang is probably one of the most famous pianists. And don't laugh at that word. I can see you laugh.
Piano.
Did you say pianist? He's one of the most famous pianists going around. There's actually I'm pretty sure it's on Disney. There's a documentary of him. And he is one of the most incredible piano players ever to grace the stage. And he works with, I think, the London Symphony Orchestra. And they just played all these like random Disney tunes. And it was so cool, man. It was...
Sounds wild, man.
You probably won't watch it, but I mean, I really like it. Yeah. So yes, there is a Lang Lang, but I think it's a Lung Lung.
What would be average costing for a 3-bedroom compared to a 4-bedroom house in the Southeast Corridor?
Look, it comes down to how many living rooms, al fresco, but you're roughly looking at probably between the 3,000 to 5,000 price range for that kind of property.
And then from a return on investment, if you were saying to a client with a standard 3 or 4 bedroom house in the southeast, if you were to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in staging, how much extra do you think an owner could make on a sale price?
Yeah, the average is somewhere between 7 to 15%.
Wow.
Okay.
So and that's we had a property in Ferntree Gully went to auction on the weekend, and that went $210,000 above reserve.
Yeah. And that was in part because of the staging? Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think the owners see that. Owners quite frequently are a little bit reluctant to hire. I think it's a new age thing. It's not something that was around 20 years ago, right?
Yep.
And so they might be a bit old school, a little bit reluctant. But once they see their home or their investment property staged, especially with good furniture like yours, Sharon, they then go, oh, wow, yeah, we're sold. This is before we've even shown the first buyer through, they're already sold.
Yeah.
And I reckon you probably get very similar feedback from your clients.
We do. It's one of the rewarding is that you get home and you get a text that night from the owner that they've just walked into their home, and how much they love it, and questioning why they're selling now. It's really, really lovely to see them fall in love with the home again.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see to get the text of a night time saying how much they love it, or that they've gone to an investment property, or they've seen the photos online. So we constantly get the feedback of how happy they are and how much they love it. So
One thing that really strikes me as we're just having a conversation right now is just how warm you are. So I think when you speak to someone, you're not coming across like Brent and I with real, like, we talk about commission breath and very salesy. You come across as quite genuine and very
nervous. I'm sorry.
and she's shitting
I'm
herself,
sorry.
but she's doing a great job. One of the questions then that I had for you was, when you go to an owner's house and you meet with the owner,
Yep.
do you offer like some consultation?
We do. So I would say 50% of our business is what we call partials.
Okay.
So the
And what's
client,
partials?
sorry?
What's partials?
So the vendors are living in the home while
Yep.
they sell the property. So I do a walkthrough with them. We go through room by room. I take some notes and photos. We discuss everything. So what I'm there for is to give them recommendations what they're to remove, what's not working, looking at what the floor plan is of the home, because when we live in a home, we live for comfort. But when we're selling the property, we need to, put the floor plan back to how it is going to be showed on
and
on real
maximize
estate.
the sale.
Absolutely. So it's all those type of things that, we need a second living where you might have a study, or they've set it up in a different way. So we give that recommendation and feedback to them, it's a great success.
So that consultation, I think, is important, because it's not just about staging a whole house, getting heaps of furniture in the property and then selling it. It's okay, what can we do with what you've already got in there?
Yep.
How can we manipulate this situation or add this little bit of artwork?
Yep. And look, I say to them, I'm not here to spend your money. I will try and save it. Because of course, when I walk in, they're thinking, how much is this going to cost? And I honestly will try and save the money. We can always dress beds we can always use. And I will always try and save their money. And I say, but if I think it's going to compromise the overall look and feel, or if your furniture is a little bit too oversized, I will give that recommendation. And at the end of the day, it's just a recommendation to them.
Okay. Last question from me is, obviously we go through seasonal changes and things go in and things go out, and there's on vogue and on trend and things that aren't so much. What color right now, as we come into the Australian spring, into the Australian summer, what color is the most trendiest from a fashion?
Look, I guess we've just come out of the rusts and the browns. So, I think the greens, definitely the different colours of the greens.
I was
Just 'cause
going
you
to
work
say,
for O'Brien.
No, I was going to say sage, and I was going to say sage. Is sage?
Forest green.
Yep, there you
Yeah.
go. I'm a stylist.
Oh, you're a stylist.
I was thinking it.
I
was thinking it.
You thought green.
I guess with also with just the last question a little while ago about why stage your properties. If we get back to that just before we go, is that if buyers walk into a property and it's empty, they've got nothing to look at except what's wrong with the room.
Yep.
So they walk in, they look at the carpet, they look at the walls. All they've got to look at is what's wrong with it, instead of walking into a staged property and thinking of the lifestyle that they could live there and that emotional connection. So it does make a huge difference of, not having an empty property. It also, with the bedrooms, if you furnish the rooms, it actually makes the rooms feel bigger. So, a lot of times buyers will look at the rooms and say, oh, we can't even fit a single bedroom in here. You put a single bed in there, you put bedside table and lap, you've still got plenty of room. So it also shows buyers what the potential of that room.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of stages use the double beds. Is that like a little insider trick or single beds? I'm like, there's never a queen bed in here. This has been staged.
Queen bed will always do it in the master bedroom.
Yeah,
queen or king. No, it's what's going to fit look best in the room and what's going to fit. If you've got a 4-bedroom, you can certainly, put a double in one of them and a couple of singles in the other.
Yeah, and just having this conversation with you here tonight, I'm definitely like, I never think about doing a partial stage for my clients, but now if my client's willing to, definitely call Sharon because that's got to make a difference.
How convincing you are, Sharon.
It's a great point, man.
Yeah, it is a great point. No, she's done well. Well, that's all we've got time for. So Sharon from Style With Us, thank you for 1, coming down here and being on the podcast, 2, for sponsoring us, 3, for convincing Brent to stage, and 4, for letting people out there who potentially don't do staging a bit of an insight into what goes on. Shazalicious, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, so we're back. We had Style With Us, fantastic. Sharon did such a good job speaking what she had to say about, I can't even talk to myself, speaking about what she needed to do about staging. And I tell you what, if you aren't staging your houses or even getting an owner-occupier who's already in the property, if you aren't even at least consulting with a stylist, then you are leaving money on the table.
100% agree, mate.
All right, so the next point. So we're in episode 6, season 1, obviously. We announced in the first episode that we're going to bring on a youngster, or at least someone who's new and fresh to real estate, to become part of our mentor program. Now, the truth is, Brent, that you and I just make shit up as we go along. But one thing that we can do is we can sell houses. And we are super happy to announce that we've found, after many applications and many people reaching out, our one person that we're going to mentor. And I'm going to get you, Brent, to say his name.
We have, all the way from the Wollongong in Sydney, the Gong they call it, Sam Fonssbach.
How do we go, Sam?
That was on the money. That was perfect.
Well done. So, all right, Sammy. So I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. So who are you, where you work, why real estate, how old you are, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to hold a photo of you up on my lap so people can see what you're like.
I love it. So, my name's Sam Fonssbach. I currently in the Illawarra based, and prior I've been in sales for about 7 years now, starting in, I want to say 2018-ish. Working with tech sales, for example, as well as leaning a little bit into the insurance space as well. And mate, I accidentally fell into real estate, funny enough. I applied for a job. It was to a private advertiser. It mentioned the earning potential was like $600K plus a year on commission.
Yep.
And I took a dive and they were like, it's real estate. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I'm not qualified. So
where's my 600 grand?
And they basically came back to me and said that my skill set, which at the time was a lot of outbound calling, was beneficial for the next plans they had, which was opening a new office. Yep. And that's sort of how it's a whole nother story, but I was way in over my head at the time.
Yep.
But, it kickstarted me into real estate, and here I am today, 5 months later.
Mate, and so you've been in real estate for 5 years, Sam, is that right?
5 months.
5 months, sorry. And you've got, I don't know why I said years. You've got 2 kids?
Yeah, man, I got twin boys. They are turning 5 on the 26th. So
awesome.
I've had 7 weekends in a row of birthday parties. Now I've got theirs this weekend and 2 more the next 2 weekends.
And do you drive a fire truck?
No. Look, I have been asked. Yesterday, my kid asked me why I don't fix houses. And I said, I'm not good enough. And then he's like, why don't you fix people? And I said, I'm not smart enough. And he's like, oh, well, what do you do? And I said, I sell houses. And he's like, it's not a good job.
Sam has got it. Sam, the first 2 minutes I've listened to this guy, I think he's going to do really well in real estate.
Because he can't fix houses and he can't fix people.
He's got humour and he can
He's
talk
a funny
clearly.
guy.
I can't talk clearly, but, humour, man.
I'm half a beer down. I can't
I'm excited.
All right.
Apparently my partner thought I was funny.
So you've got a partner?
Yeah, I've been engaged for 5 years together, 7.
Bro, come on.
Well
When's
done.
the wedding?
Oh, mate, when I sell some houses.
Gavin,
That's when the wedding
Yeah.
Gavin, I will be there.
is. I'll lock you in.
All right. So, if we get you enough business, then yeah, for sure. What I'm going to get you to do, Sam, I want you to tell us a little bit about what a week in your life looks like. And I'm going to take down some notes. So
Sure.
run me through. Now you're in Wollongong, Illawarra area, which is obviously coastal New South Wales, just south of Sydney.
Yep.
I think it's like 40 degrees there or something right now.
Today.
Yeah, no, it's 32 degrees, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't take it for granted. I have air conditioning, so I'm doing pretty well.
Are
It's
you on
really
a s-
hot. It's a huge heat wave in the northern
wow.
states, and we're
Yeah,
just like
no.
getting pelted with rain and wind. Right. So run us through what a week looks like for you, Sam.
For sure. So I keep my prospecting pretty on schedule. It doesn't change until it hits Tuesday morning, which is when my sales meeting is.
Yep.
So from 9 till 11, I'm on the phones calling database. We have about 71,000 database contacts. So
Wow.
I'll touch base with as many as I can in that 2-hour span.
Yep.
The only time I don't is Tuesday morning because of the sales meeting.
Mhm.
And then after that, I'll go out and letterbox drop. I'll try and specifically target around listings that have just popped up.
Mhm.
And then I'll proceed to see if anyone needs a hand around the office or if I can really be of any help. If not, come 3 p.m., I'm doing another call block until 5 p.m.
Mhm.
And then after that, I will drive an odd way home, specifically because I live in my farm area.
Mhm.
I will letterbox drop one random street of choice.
How many letterbox drops a day?
I do 100 per day.
Okay,
So between 9-11, you're prospect calling.
Yep.
And then after that, you said letterbox drops until 3 p.m.
So yeah, letterbox drops in combination with giving anyone a hand if they have any, like, for some reason, a weekday open on a home, or if, for example, they're going to take photos or anything or need help moving furniture, because we do a lot of developments as well.
Mhm.
And we're moving furniture between units quite often. So wherever I can be of hand as well during that time.
Okay, cool. All right. Run me through your goals. What are you hoping to achieve next year?
Next year, I want to write 200K in commission.
Mhm.
Now, that's probably in over my head, but it's sort of what I need to do to survive because I took a very large pay cut coming into real estate in hopes that 3-4 years down the line, it would pay off financially. And I'm at a stage now where because of that pay cut, I'm dipping heavily into savings and alarm bells are ringing. So I don't have a choice but to do well.
How
I
many,
love that.
How many sales would be 200?
Well, the average in my farm area alone, the average sale price is 917,000.
Yep.
So
Average comp?
1.8% in my area.
Okay, so similar to down
So
here.
probably about 15K per transaction
Yeah, correct.
after GST.
Yep.
All right. So working that out, you'd probably have to be doing approximately about 15 sales in a year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So saying about just
One a
over
month.
one a month.
Yep.
Yep. All right, cool. So are you an associate right now? Are you working under someone or are you your own agent?
I am my own agent on debit credit.
Yep. And what's debit credit?
So that's where basically I pay back my wage.
So in Victoria, we call it retainer.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
First,
okay.
debit credit. That's good. All right. And so how many listings and sales have you had so far?
0, but
Zero.
I am
Perfect.
going to be co-listing a couple that are popping up in my farm area.
Great.
No
Beautiful.
commission for that, though.
So there's 71,000 contacts in the LJ Hooker. Now, we love the fact that you're LJ Hooker because obviously we've got O'Brien, Ray White. We've spoken with some other brands as well. We haven't had anyone from LJ Hooker. So this is really good from a diversity perspective.
Yep.
There's 71,000 contacts in that database from LJ Hooker, which is very impressive, by the way.
Huge.
71,000 is massive. How many contacts are in your database, Sam?
Mine specific, there is going to be 0, and that is my own fault.
Okay, why is that?
Because when I am speaking with someone, for example, I am not putting them into a CRM under me specifically.
Okay, who are you putting them under?
To be honest, if I'm out meeting someone through either just door knocking or like letterbox dropping, for example, and they call me, I've just not putting them in the database, if I'm being honest. It's
Yep.
my own fault.
Yep. No, this is good. Look, we love transparency. And the fact is, Sam, that what you are experiencing right now is what all of us have experienced. And so the more raw and the more honest you can be, the more you're going to help other people. And most importantly, we're going to be able to help you too. So this is going to change. All right. So what we want you to do now is we want you to start building a database yourself. Now, the 71,000 contacts in this, is it a generic database that anyone can contact?
Correct.
Okay. So what we want you to do is we want you to start calling people that are in your farm. So your farm area or your patch or your area of influence, whatever it is that people call it, what is it? Is it like a certain part of Illawarra or Wollongong? What is your patch?
So it's the two surrounding suburbs in the suburb that I live in,
Which is?
which is Mount Warrigal, Warrella, and Oak Flats.
Oak Flats.
Yep, Oak Flats.
Oak
Like the
Flats.
tree.
Geez, that sounds rich.
How many? Do you know how many houses, mate? You're working.
I do. So there is. I know in Mount Warrigal and Warrella, there's 4,758 homes. Feel free to fact check me on that.
That's okay.
And then if I added in Oak Flats, well, I'd say we're pretty close to 6,500, but I don't have the specific number on Oak Flats included.
Okay, so in your patch, you have 10,000 homes.
6,500 total.
Well, 6.5 in Mount Warrigal and the other one.
Okay, so 6,500 was Mount Warrigal and Warrella combined.
Yep, and then how many in Oak Flats?
It's going to be roughly like 1,500. It's a
Okay,
small.
beg your pardon. So you're looking at then 8,000 properties.
Yeah.
Okay, and roughly how many of them would come up for sale each year?
I don't know the number for that.
Okay, so we normally work on a turnover of like 1 in every 7 years. So even if we rounded it down a little bit and said, okay, there's rather than 8,000 houses, 7,000, that would say to me there's going to be 1,000 properties that will come up for sale in your core area in the next 12 months.
Okay.
We need 15.
It's a good market to work with, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
15. So before we can get started into listing presentations or being sexy at the dining room table, we want to get down to the nuts and bolts. And for anyone listening, the data is important. And in fact, the data is critical. So our task is going to be to get you more data and to get you calling and contacting that database more regularly. You've got a 9 to 11 a.m. prospecting session, which is 2 hours. But then outside of that, and obviously excluding Tuesdays, there is no more prospecting done except for letterbox drops and maybe helping then move furniture from development house to development house.
Yeah, so I thought I mentioned before, I call from 3 to 5 p.m. as well.
Okay.
Every day.
Yep.
Do you have an idea of how many connects you're getting?
In that time period, I make roughly 175 calls. And then connect-wise, I think my connection rate's like 39%, I want to say.
Yeah, that's average, 30, 40%.
Yep.
For me, it is.
Yep. Cool. So do you have a plan behind the calling, or are you just going into the database and just calling whoever pops up?
Going through the database, and the plan is to try and, first of all, introduce myself into the area. I mentioned that, they may have something in their mail. I might have dropped it by, and then seeing if they'd like, a market update for their home is sort of how that conversation goes.
Yep. Cool. All right. So, and how many appraisals are you getting per week at the moment?
Currently, two to three.
2 to 3 a week? All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to set some goals. We want you to get at least 15 contacts per week.
Yep.
So new contacts per week, at least 15. We're going to roll with that number 15 because that's 15 sales per year is what we're targeting, and 15 contacts per week is what we're targeting too. We also want you to get 10 appraisals a week, and we're going to work up on that as well. So 15 new contacts, 10 new appraisals. We want to spend more time on the phone than necessarily letterbox dropping. Letterbox dropping is good, but for a lot of people, letterbox dropping can be quite pointless unless you're getting some form of recognition as well. So people go, oh, that's Sam, because I spoke to him on the phone 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago or yesterday, and they recognize you in the letterbox. Up until then, it's just like, oh, it's another random agent. We're throwing it out. So we need that recognition of call and letterbox drops. But there is absolutely no point us doing letterbox drops if people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you through, and next week I'll share on the podcast, I'm going to send you through a KPI sheet. And on that KPI sheet is going to have, Sam, what your target's going to be from a weekly perspective and then a monthly perspective. And we're going to go through that every week and see what you're doing. But whether it's door knocking or converting some of that 71,000 contacts, some of them in your patch, we want you to get 15 contacts and 10 appraisals a week.
I love it.
And with those contacts, they have to have first name, last name, address, email address.
Yep.
'Cause I think
Okay.
some people, like even myself, I used to not do email addresses, but you need to be a clean database. You need it to be all those four touch points.
And chances are your 71,000 is probably more of like an older database,
Yeah.
which might have like a property attached to a Jason Smith dot phone number
Yeah.
dot email. You just got to get rid of that shit. Unless you're going to door knock that house and introduce yourself and get his details. That's pointless being in there. But this is good. So I'm going to send you this sheet. And if there's anyone else that's watching that's similar to Sam, where you might have only had a few listings or no listings at all, this is a really, really good start. 15 contacts, new contacts to your database, not to LJ Hookers, not to your associate or the guy sitting next to you in the booth, your contacts. So this time next week, Sam, or anyone watching, 15 contacts in your database, minimum 10 appraisals. And I'm going to talk to you off air a little bit about this, Sam, so we can do that. But this can be a collective thing, not just for Sam, Brent, and I and the podcast, but anyone that's tuning in, send us what you're doing too, because it can be a collective thing and we can grow together.
Beautiful.
How does that sound, Sammy?
I love it. Sounds like a good plan.
Cool. Mate, we are going to get that 200K commission.
And
Love it.
more. And more.
And more.
Add
And
an
more.
extra zero.
Easy work, mate.
Yeah. Cool. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining in. We are looking forward to catching you next week. Same time next week. You good with that?
Absolutely.
Legend, dude. Hey, thanks for joining us. Brent, anything you want to say?
No, lovely to meet you, brother. Love your energy. Love your enthusiasm. And thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate it, Brent.
See you, bro.
See you, buddy. Bye. That's the wrap. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You are now the recipient of 50 bonus points that Brent will award you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Had a fantastic session. Like obviously we've covered off on quite a bit, so really appreciate it. Appreciate all the sponsors as well. Brent, another cracking episode from you. Well done.
No, you've been awesome, mate. Thanks so much. And if there is any outside noise, we do apologise. It is like Cyclone Pakenham here. So we do apologise. Thanks, Gav.
You
Pleasure.
seen that scene off, what is it? Sound of Music? Not Sound of Music? The other one? Anyway, I'm not even what I'm talking about. Cyclone's coming through. Thank you very much, Craig. The Real Estate Forum podcast. We'll be back next week.
Over
episode
and out.
7.
Cheers.